Hi guys, I'm Saumya and I'm back again with another video. I hope you're all well and safe. I make a lot of bookish content on this channel. So if you are a book lover and a reader, then do hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click on the bell icon. So in today's video, I want to talk about a book which was sent to me by the author, and that book is The Amateur Detectives by Sayan Sahoo. So let's get into the video. So I read this book as an ebook on my Kindle, but the paperback edition of this book is also available. As you can tell by the title of this book, The Amateur Detectives is a thriller slash mystery. So the book opens with a murder taking place in the 70s, and then the story comes to the present time. So there is a guy called Neil Roy who is the protagonist of the story. He is a 20-something private detective and he has his own private detective agency. In this book, we read about the 3 cases that he works on, and basically these are 3 separate cases and they are episodes in themselves that are not entirely connected to each other, but it's best that this book is read in proper chronology. And in the backdrop there is this mystery going on about this mysterious figure who calls himself the crime lord. He goes about murdering people. The last time he murdered somebody was in the 70s. That's how the book opens, but then apparently he has resurfaced in the present time and he calls himself the deliverer of karma. So basically what happens is that in this book we get to read about the 3 cases that Neil works upon, and we basically read the conclusions of these cases, but the mystery of the crime lord is not solved in this book, and I believe it will be solved in the books that are going to follow this one, because this book is a part of the series. It's the first book. So when you start reading this book, Neil's character comes across as a cheeky, light-hearted youngster who doesn't really take things seriously, but as you keep reading this book more and more, you realize that this book is not just a thriller or a mystery. It also deals with certain other underlying themes. For example, Neil's mental health, because he keeps getting nightmares, and also his pessimistic and negative take on relationships based on his past experience. So these themes are very less in comparison to the main genre, which is the mystery or thriller, but they are very much present in the book, and the reason I mention them specifically is because for me as a reader, they contributed to making this book engaging. Also, they added depth to Neil's character, which was very important in my opinion, because he is the protagonist of the story. As we all know, in the world of fiction, there are quite a few very celebrated and iconic private detective characters that readers love so much. So I'm glad to say that Neil's character had his individuality and he seemed like his own character and he felt unique to read about. And what I liked about this book was that Neil's sidekick is a dog called Jimmy, with whom Neil has a love-hate relationship, and there is like this banter that goes on between the two. Neil says something cheeky and Jamie responds by barking. It's like they can understand each other. So this was a very unique aspect of this book, which I definitely enjoyed reading. The more I read this book, the more interesting it got for me. Neil solves 3 cases, and for me each and every case was more interesting and more complicated than the previous one, which I think was great, because when it comes to reading a mystery or a thriller, the main thing is that it should keep your interest engaged and ideally it should be fast paced. On both these counts, this book did not disappoint me. I wanted to read more and more of this book. It's not exactly a short book. It has around 450 pages, so it does have considerable length, but it did not feel like a lengthy read at all. I was able to read this book fairly quickly. In each and every of the 3 cases that Neil works on, we get clues as to what might happen or who might be the culprit, what might be the suspense, and as a reader I formed my own theories, did some guesswork, but I'm glad to say that each and every time I was wrong, and whenever the mystery and the suspense was revealed, I did not see it coming and it was totally unexpected, which is great, because when you are reading a thriller or a mystery and you are able to guess what the suspense is, it sort of sucks. It spoils your experience. Even if the book otherwise is paced very well, is a great read, but the main highlight of a thriller or a mystery is the suspense that gets revealed in the end and the process that the detective describes as to how he cracked the case, and then you marvel as a reader. So 3 times this book gave me that experience and I really enjoyed that, although I must admit that the last case in this book, the 3rd case that Neil works upon, for me personally, was the most exciting to read. The only thing I found a little bit annoying in this book was how Neil's character sometimes got a little too cheeky for my liking with another character called Deepthi. Apart from that, I had a great time with this book. The language is simple, the writing is quite effortless, and on the whole, I enjoyed reading this book. If you are looking to read a great thriller or a mystery novel, then The Amateur Detectives by Sayan Sahoo is a great book to go for. It is an Indian book, it has that level of relatability as well, plus it's very interesting to read. If you want to check this book out, then I will leave the link for this book in the description box. That was it for today's video. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description. I will see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye, take care and stay safe.